Good morning and welcome to KCPS Homeroom. I'm Justin Robinson. Today is Real World Learning. We will start with a segment we call Working in the Real World. Let's get ready to learn. First up, Crystal Everett.
My name is Crystal Everett, and this is Real World Learning Fridays. I was once a student in KCPS, and I had a job here at Worlds of Fun. I was 15 years old, serving Dippin' Dots and having nachos here in the park. And you too could possibly have a job here at Worlds of Fun someday. One of the cool perks about working at Worlds of Fun is that you can come in here and ride the rides for free. But today, we are here talking to a number of people who work at Worlds of Fun about their different careers. We know that you can get a chance to work here while you're in high school, but we also want you to think about what are those career opportunities that you can have once you graduate. So we've had a chance to talk to our human resources manager, who is also a graduate of KCPS, about how you can apply for a job and successfully complete a season of work here.
So first thing you want to do is visit our website, worldsoffun.com/hiring. All the positions are listed there, including some of the lead positions, if you are interested in that, or a returner for us. And so that'll be the first step that you want to take if you're interested in employment with us. I would definitely encourage students to check out the website for specific dates. We do have virtual hiring fairs, and that's when they can take place. They can look at the dates and kind of participate in some of those virtual hiring fairs, and then apply for the jobs once we start really getting into the process. Sure, we do have some 14 and 15-year-old spots available, but we do encourage 16 and up to apply for our positions as well. Ride operator, lifeguards, working in our foods department, guest services, so greeting our guests, ticket takers, so admissions, are some of the positions that you'll see listed on the website. You'll get some really good first experience with leadership, developing who you are, meeting great people, and then creating memories and long-lasting relationships. As with any career, it's no traditional trajectory to any specific role. For those that may not know, we are owned by Cedar Fair, and so we have several other parks within our family. Mm-hmm. So, your career doesn't have to stop at Worlds of Fun. You can start here in foods or human resources, which is, the role that I have here, and kind of work your way around and figure out what area works best for you and your skill set, whether that's operations. Of course, we have a general manager of each park, which you'll hear a little bit of the day in the life of what he does and experiences every day. Marketing, communication, finance. We are a full organization, which I think is a lot of times people forget. Definitely encourage you to take a leap. This is a great place to work. You have fun. We are literally Worlds of Fun. So we encourage you to come here. We do what we can to put our people first. We want to make sure that we're investing in our students and in the people that come to work here, because, we want our guests to have a good experience, but we also want our ambassadors to have a really good, well-rounded work experience as well.
We also had a chance to talk to the manager of security, who talked about how you can translate some of the very important skills of communication into a career in law enforcement.
Ironically, I actually started Worlds of Fun at 14. It was my very first job, working in food operations. Then I worked in retail for a little bit, did a couple of other departments, and at 18, I stumbled into security, changed my life, absolutely loved it. Still here to this day, enjoying it and providing a safe atmosphere for our employees and our guests. Well, safety is our #1 priority at Worlds of Fun. So my position is just to make sure that we manage the resources we have to provide a safe environment for our employees and our guests, which some days can be great, some days not so great, but overall our goal is just to make sure our guests and our associates have a great time and make it back home safely. The #1 leadership skill I've learned is to always have a plan. People are coming to Worlds of Fun to work, to have a great time, and they're depending on Worlds of Fun security and our department to have a plan. So 1 is always have a plan. 2 is to stay hungry, stay motivated, stay encouraged. Of course, dealing with an atmosphere like this, it can be kind of stressful at moments. You always want to make sure you stay hungry, and then just stay motivated, especially dealing with the nuances that come with operating an amusement park and parking lots and all that good stuff. Staying motivated and staying hungry are the 2 important lessons for me. Communication skills are important, both written and verbal communication skills. I would also say, for the security perspective, being a critical thinker, being able to make good decisions, sometimes under stress or in a chaotic situation, you need to be able to think clearly and be able to give direction to other people. Well, I think conflict management or conflict resolution skills are very, very important. That's something that's not really talked about on a community basis, but there's conflict everywhere. So being able to manage conflict and have a positive outcome is very important. I think those interpersonal skills are important as well, to be able to be compassionate and sympathetic and empathetic to different people that you deal with on a regular basis. Sometimes at Worlds of Fun, people come and they have some situations of just being separated from a family member, and a huge place like that can be kind of stressful. And our goal is just to make sure that we can get them reunited back to their families. Well, working at Worlds of Fun gave me a lot of opportunities to learn different leadership skills to put to place in my life, and then working at Worlds of Fun has also allowed me to develop my personal interpersonal skills so that I can be further developed for my career and objectives.
We also had a chance to talk to the executive chef, who talked about what it means to not only work in the kitchen, but again, continue to gain those skills that you need to work within that field.
A lot of opportunity for young, ambitious culinary students. My start was, I was just a very confused young teenager, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I showed up at a restaurant with a smile on my face, and I just kept showing up every day, and I worked real hard. I did everything from, cleaning fryers to washing potatoes, and I moved into different restaurants, and eventually I worked for a company that had a tremendous growth spurt over the course of the 8 years that I was with them. And a few years ago, I thought it might be cool to see if I'm even worthy of a position in an amusement park. I grew up playing roller coaster tycoon, and I just thought it was the funnest thing. And I came in, had an interview, asked a lot of questions, was asked a lot of questions, and I'm going on my 4th season here at Worlds of Fun, and it is the coolest job a chef can ever ask for. So I would advise any young aspiring chef to just show up with a smile. If you show up with a smile and the willingness to learn, that's all you need. You're gonna learn how to fry things. You're gonna learn how to work a grill. You're gonna learn how to do cool tricks with a saute pan. You're gonna learn how to use a knife. That all is a part of the job, and you're gonna learn it. The really great life skills you get out of being in a kitchen is learning how to work with a diverse group of people, learning how to overcome adversity and constant challenges, working in a high pace. There's challenges every single day. There's changes every single day. There's also some sanitation requirements. So you're working in an environment where you have to be very careful and conscious of your impact on the human that's consuming the food. And so I would advise you show up with a smile and the willingness, and if you show up every day, you're going to learn a lot of skills. Well, coming from the restaurant business, I've done a lot of things. I've done 7-course wine dinners, and what makes this fun is the food just has to be fun. As long as the food looks great and it's fun and it makes people smile, and I've said this thousands of times, people come to an amusement park, Worlds of Fun, people come here to ride the Mamba, the Patriot. If they leave here remembering what they ate, I've made an impact, and that to me is the most inspiring part of the job, is I get an opportunity to serve somebody food that they'll remember outside of the roller coaster they came here to ride.
And finally, we talked to the general manager. What is a general manager anyway? That is the person who knows a little bit about everything that makes the park run.
We always say general manager, not specific. So, I generally have to get involved with all our divisions. I have 8 direct reports with each of our business entities in the park. So, a typical day could, really starts with, are we set? Are we ready? The guest experience is everything we care about. And obviously our ambassadors as well from a work experience. But the day starts with, is this gate ready? Is the parking lot ready? So I typically, I'll get in my golf cart, we check the lots, we check the cleanliness of the grounds, and then I probably start moving my way into staffing. How are we looking? And that's kind of a typical day. Then we just deal with the day as it comes. Operationally, what are the issues? If they're always there,
Of course.
We're always responding to something to make sure the day goes as flawlessly and as enjoyable as possible for everybody, and that includes our workers. So we pay a lot of attention on both sides of that fence. First the guests, as we're welcoming them, and then are the ambassadors good to go for an enjoyable day of work. My background, oddly enough, is in social work. So I had a desire and still have a passion. I think it's, I see it here is working with teens. Like that's something in college that I thought I really want to work with teens. And keep working with their minds and their development and preparing them for their careers. So what a better way to do that than an amusement park where we're having fun at the same time. The other side is leadership. So if you're going to work with people and you're going to want to develop people in any age, any capacity, you really have to understand how to lead them. So if I had to give younger folks or folks in high school some advice, I'd say you work on your people skills, you work on relationships, and then really kind of focus on leadership. What's that business degree? It doesn't matter to me what avenue that's in, but you really have to strive to learn how to lead. Yeah, I think you have to break out of that shell somewhere, and you have to surround yourself with folks who embrace you. And what we try to do, and we moved to group interviewing, so for ambassadors, and that kind of broke them out of that shell. You're not alone. You know, you're not a sole entity going through an interview and have to go one-on-one. Everything's pretty much collaborative now. So, you know, I think from what I see, I think students are getting comfortable in that surrounding, certainly virtually and electronically, on devices. But this face-to-face interaction, I think, is much better when you have 3 or 4 people around. And then get comfortable talking about yourself. Get comfortable saying, here's what I like, here's what I don't like, here's what I need help with. You know, and we try to embrace that here with our ambassadors is whatever you need, we're going to take care of you. I was fortunate to have a lot of great leaders in my life and in my career. But the one thing that always resonated was, you know, is stay restless, always stay hungry, you know, always keep moving forward, you know, and really listen, you know, people that start to kind of understand themselves a little bit more as leaders, they start becoming more aware of their own ability to just listen. And how do you deal with that? So there's a few things in there, but, you know, that's helped me along, certainly in my career.
Thanks for tuning in to Real World Learning Fridays. I'm Crystal Everett, and I look forward to seeing you in class next week.
Hey, welcome back. It's Chef Tom at the Cardinal Cafe. Happy to have you here today. Today we're going to make one of my absolute favorite things. We're going to do a chef salad. Okay, there's a lot of different kinds of salads you can make, but this is really one of my favorites. It's one of the first salads I ever learned. When I first started cooking, it was at a little place called The Sportsman in Somerset, Wisconsin. And this was one thing that our boss insisted, no matter what, had to be consistent every single time. So, we're going to start. You can see we have a menagerie of tools and things we're going to work with today. So as we're working with different things, I'll mention each thing and what we're doing with them, okay? Here we go. This is our first item. This is the kitchen steel. We're going to use this steel for sharpening our French knife. Every single time you come into the kitchen, do yourself a favor and sharpen your knife. It doesn't take long. It's not complicated. Just got to run it about 10 times on either side. Okay, that's it. This knife is sharp. So, give it a good wipe. And here we go. We're going to take this head of lettuce and we're going to bust out the core. Okay? So we're going to take all the lettuce off the outside that's not fit to eat. That brings us to a nice clean inside of the head of lettuce. So we're going to take off enough for this salad. About 1/3 of a head of lettuce. Now, when I'm making a chef salad, I like to cut the lettuce a little on the small side. See this piece of brown lettuce right here? We're just going to peel him right out of there and throw him away. Okay, this is a very quality-driven salad. Okay, we're going to turn it. Just going to run back through it, okay? Now you see our lettuce is cut up nice and small. We're going to take our bowl. We're just going to bring it back in here. Okay. One thing that I really like when I'm making a salad is I really like a little tiny bit of herbs in my salad itself. So I've got a little fresh Italian parsley here. I'm just going to give that a little once over. You know, it doesn't have to be small, but we don't want whole leaves either, okay? We're just going to throw some of that right in our bowl of lettuce. The rest we're just going to get rid of. Okay, now we were talking about different kinds of knives today, right? So, one knife that's really user-friendly on vegetables that I, in the past, may have been a little bit of a snob about because I really love my French knife, is the serrated knife. Some call it a bread knife, but I'm going to tell you what, by far one of the best knives that there are in the kitchen. When you want to slice a tomato, it goes through it absolutely beautiful. Now this tomato, we're going to take our tomato gator, we're going to bring our trash over, and we're just going to scoop this guy out. Okay? That's what this gator is for, is cutting the inside of the tomato or pulling out a stem. But just like that, that tomato is empty. So, having done that, we're going to design our tomato a little. You know, it doesn't have to be real fancy, and this isn't difficult to do. But you're just cutting some little notches out of him so that when it comes time to plate up, it looks nice. Because really, people eat with their eyes. And things being garnished and looking good means everything. So that is our tomato, okay? We're going to take him, and we're just going to slice off the bottom of him. Yep. Let's use our serrated knife. There we go. And he goes right in the middle of our plate, all right? Let's go ahead and get rid of some of this, and we're going to grab a fresh towel. Now, this is a sanitizer towel. Sanitizer solution, remember, 200 to 400 parts per million. All right. We're going to sanitize our board quick. Okay. Now, we've got this beautiful tomato. We're going to mix up this lettuce with this little bit of basil. We're just going to put it around that tomato. Remember, this is about 1/3 of a head of lettuce. And we don't want to go too high because we've got a lot of ingredients left to go on here yet. Okay? Get rid of this guy. And we're going to put this guy right up in the corner while we keep on working. Next, we got this cucumber, and this is a zester. Okay? We're just going to run this zester like this through our cucumber. And then after you do that, you just want to work around it and get all these strings off, okay? And that's what it looks like after you've zested it. Get rid of this. And again, we have our serrated knife. We're going to take it down the middle. And then we're going to take it just like that. We're going to cut some nice slices. Beautiful. Okay. Now, we have some cucumber over here. We're just going to put that in with that. Now, we got some nice turkey. Let's wipe this up a little. Dadgummit now. Again, we're coming back to sanitizer water. Okay? Because as we're wiping this up, we're just going to sanitize our board. Then everything goes in the trash, okay? When we're doing this, we need to make sure that things go in the trash, not on the floor. All right, let's get some meat on the salad. Let's start with some turkey. See that? That's a julienne right there, okay? We're gonna put our turkey right there. How's that look? Then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grab some ham. And again, we're just gonna julienne it, okay? I'm gonna take a couple ounces of this ham and go just opposite the turkey. Now, you don't have to use ham and turkey. I mean, it's traditionally what's used on a chef salad, but you can use different meats, fish, shrimp, bacon. You can do what you like. All right, so now we've got our cheeses. We got a nice Swiss, and this also needs to be a julienne. We're just going to take them in half and take them in half again. Work it off the knife and half again. Now, you can see we've got some of this cheese ready to go. I'm just going to go right there on our salad, okay? And I need to check our toast because I believe it's close to done for a garnish. Ooh, is that hot? All right, now our cheddar cheese. Again, we're just going to julienne it. Break it up a little and put it over on this side. Beautiful. We'll cut up some nice eggs. We'll get these guys on here. And I think we're going to need some dressing. You can use any kind of dressing that you want on these salads. I really prefer ranch. So we have our ham and our turkey and our cheese and our eggs. So now we're going to put our cucumbers on, okay? And remember that tomato that we were cutting up to start with? Well, I think this is kind of cool. We're just going to take our dressing and put it right in that tomato that we cut up. And that is your chef salad. You know, I hope you make this at home. I hope you try it. It's a hearty, delicious meal. Lots of protein, pretty low in fat. You know, all I can say is try it. Let me know how you like it. Shoot me an email. My email address is tbelisle@kcpublicschools.org. Don't be shy. Have a great day.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to another episode of KCPS Homeroom. I am Chris Odom. I'm excited today to have another visitor from my past and discuss with her some of the things that she may have uncovered back then when we were working in the classroom, me, the teacher, her, the student. And then perhaps how some of those pathways that started to emerge for her may have happened. That helps in some ways for young people to see that it can happen for you too. And that's one of the cool reasons we've been working on having shows like this. So let's jump right in and talk to Veronica Smotherson, who is a graduate of Paseo Academy and also one of the people I had the fortune to get to teach. And tell us, Veronica, a little bit about your path, and start with what year you graduated from Paseo.
Sure. So I graduated in 2005 from Paseo. I was a creative writing major under you. So I had you as my teacher, and it was an awesome 4 years of high school with creative writing being my major. So after high school, directly after high school, I went to Lincoln University in Jefferson City. So I started there. I initially went to become a teacher. I wanted to become just a standard teacher. I didn't have a preference in grade, and I wanted to major in special education as well. So I took some courses for teaching, and it was working out. I enjoyed the program, but then I started to have a change of heart. I knew I wanted to work with children, but I didn't feel that like direct instruction was for me. So I actually switched majors, and when I graduated with my bachelor's, I got that in a liberal arts degree. So I had emphasis areas in education, special education, and sociology. So with that, I knew I needed to do...
Great combination of things.
Thank you.
Right? The history of people over time and the evolution of how people work together, that's sociology, right? So I loved it too. That was I took classes weren't even part of my schedule or my major.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I think let's let you keep going, but really cool foundation to go into an educational field.
Yes. So with that degree, I knew I wanted to keep going. So I went for a master's. So directly after college, so I graduated in 2010. So it took me an extra year. It wasn't the standard 4, it was 5. But directly after that, I went for my master's in counseling. So I attended Lincoln again. I did that. I started that in 2010. And that was a 2-year program. So I graduated with a master's in education and guidance counseling. So during that time of me being in Jefferson City at Lincoln University, I was able to just check out different jobs. Like I worked for Boys and Girls Club in Jefferson City for a while. I was able to coordinate a program with the public library in Jefferson City. That was really neat. I got the chance to work with surrounding school districts, the Jefferson City district, as well as just some of the rural areas around. And I coordinated a program pairing teens and kindergartners together during the summer, like a Reading Buddies program. So I was able to really just dive in and check out different things, and whatever came to mind of things I thought I wanted to do, I was able to try them out there.
Fantastic. Thank you for that narration, and that, you can feel your excitement in telling it, and that, man, it keeps being more and more affirming to do these interviews and hear. I feel like just tiny, like giving me those props at the beginning are so special, but giving a tiny little marble, just a tiny little nudge, and then it's been so long, and then I had nothing to do with anything that's happened since then, but just, it's magical. I love hearing what you're pursuing and why, and the book clubs, and why do you think you're directed toward that work? What's been pulling you there?
I would say empathy, really empathy. I've always had a niche for just communicating with people, and I love life stories, and I love hearing people just tell me what makes them. I love talking energy. Tell me about your energy. What's going on with you? And so I've naturally just gravitated to being like a problem solver of sorts and wanting to help people put the pieces together and make things work for them. So I think from education and then just some of my experiences, I was able to land in mental health, and that's where I'm at now.
That's such an important field, and more people are kind of becoming more open with their conversations about it in 2021. Even men and professional athletes and that nature, kind of having some leading those discussions. I've seen some of those interviews. I think it's extremely important and powerful. What's your role in there, kind of getting people to open up? Do you see that as kind of, why is that happening, or what's going on?
I would say that just with society as a whole, we're starting to take off these layers that we have to be perfect. I think that just in general, it's time out for a facade. It's time out for putting on a mask and not being our authentic self. And I think because society is finally starting to grasp the concept of there's no real perfection. It's only real humans doing real things. I think that it's starting to become a more of an easier conversation, and the outlets are being open of just more mental health opportunities of just like different programming and different therapy that's not necessarily the stereotypical come talk on the couch approach.
Very cool. Thank you for that insight. It's kind of where these interviews become fun. Really not sure we're going to explore or what we're going to find out, but I love hearing your expertise and your insight. That I think that's the trick that I'm trying to find a way to pull out, and it's very easy on these interviews because, again, I haven't seen you guys in forever, and you're so full of expertise and insight. So let's wind back. Pretend for a moment you're back there in 4747 Flora, room 305, and think like that student for a minute. What do you think they need to hear these days that might profit them, that you could, pay it forward for a minute here, and we can kind of make that kind of our culminating thoughts for this interview. But I know, I was in the teaching realm for 16 years, and some of the most powerful advice came from seniors to freshmen, or from people who had really, if they could do it again, would do something else, and almost wanted to drop that knowledge back to somebody having, learned that. No pressure. I'm giving you a little build up so you can think of what you might say. But what would you tell that younger person these days?
Say, do it scared. Whatever it is, whatever frightens you, if you have a goal or whatever you would like to do, but you would think like, no, I can't do it. That's what you can do. And anything that you want to accomplish, you can if you put the work in. And I think for me, I remember in high school, knowing that I could make a difference, knowing that I had potential to help others, but not necessarily showing that how I could have, out of just, I don't know, fear of the unknown. So if I could go back and do it again, things that I wanted to accomplish or even try, not necessarily be successful, I would have just shot all my shots. I would have just did whatever it was that I was afraid to do.
That's fantastic. For me, it would be jump in the water and actually perform music somewhere. Because I don't know if, and I actually did after a few years. I played 4 times live in my whole career there in Kansas City before the place burned down. If you've ever heard of Davies Uptown in the middle of 33rd and Main, I think. But truly, 20 years of practicing in my basement. we're not horrible, but it does make you wonder, what if, and so
absolutely,
that's kind of how I'm going to spend some of my weekend, is just down there thinking all I really need is one song.
Right.
So, just get me started. So, hey, it's been really fun talking with you. And we've been kind of talking about some of the people you might know. And another thing to think about is if you know somebody else you think would like to come on and have this same experience, and that goes for people who are watching this show, please get a hold of me. I am Chris Odom at kcpublicschools.org. And I would certainly listen to your story, and we could talk about how you could come on and have a similar platform. Veronica, it's moving to hear what you're doing with your life. It's extremely important work. I'm proud to have had any moment to have worked with you because of what you're carrying on your shoulders. And if it means anything to you, I'm still in it. I'm working for the same district. So please keep in touch. Let me know how things are going. If you ever want to team up on something, that's how we get more powerful as we get older. We just start teaming up with people, right? So
I appreciate it. And I definitely have to give you your flowers. Like, creative writing for me has helped me even in mental health, because I'm able to clearly describe and write notes that are directly to the point. And you have been a staple in my career as well as just higher education, writing papers. And everything I do is writing extensive. So for you have tremendously impacted my career and my ability to communicate with the outside world. So I owe you a ton of thank yous and respect for what you have done and the impact that you definitely have made in my life. And I'm able to be as successful as I am because I can clearly communicate on paper. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. That'll get me going another 10 years.
You hang in there. I can't believe it. Like,
20.
It's crazy. It's very weird. I feel like you have frozen in time. I have grown. But you look just the same. Oh, okay. A little different.
This is my time machine. All right. So on that note, Kansas City, it's been fantastic. This is Veronica Smotherson. She has been a wonderful guest. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this morning. Have a great day. Welcome to another awesome morning in Kansas City. We are joined by a great guest today, and I think you're going to just feel the warmth and excitement that she pours out when she performs and when I think probably she speaks to us. So today we're going to talk to her a little bit about her path, and this is a show that has kind of emerged over the last couple of months during COVID. It occurred to me that I could reach back and ask some of the people I've known through social media if they would be interested in serving as kind of a pathway or at least another possibility of what might come after high school. And sometimes in high school, it might feel like you have a smaller view of what really does happen afterwards. So today we're going to talk with Janae Wilson, and she is a performer who goes by J Soul. Soul is the sun, right? In Espanol. I remember that. It's really a cool word. So Janae's going to take us back through her path after high school. So let's start there. Janae, what year did you also graduate from a very powerful place, it seems like, Paseo Academy?
Paseo Academy, yes. I graduated in 2009.
Okay. Really cool. Yeah. I've had some people lately who kind of been in the 2008, 2009 time frame. Yeah.
That was the best years.
Oh, I know, right? I can't say that because I'm loyal to all the years because they were
right.
There were 16
you were there the whole time, yeah.
16 of them for me. So it's
wow.
Yeah, you guys got 4. I got to do that 4 different times, right?
Oh, well, I went to the middle school too, so I was still there.
All right, fair enough. So tell us, after you left the Paseo experience, and you did a lot of performing there and started hitting the stage at Paseo some, right?
Yeah.
What came after that?
So right after high school, I went right into college, and I slowed down a little bit on performing just to, enjoy the college experience. Then some people heard me sing, and the next thing I knew, I was in performing in different shows, events at the college. I was in different talent shows, and of course I won, yay. But I started doing that while I was in college. I had my son, and then I came back home, and then I started gigging more, going to open mics as much as I could, soul sessions on AC Divine, Poetic Notes downtown, and those events gave me exposure. I've had the opportunities to sing background for legends of Shalimar. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the group Shalimar, but I got to sing background for Howard Hewitt. I got to go on tour with Charlie Wilson. Like, I've just been able to do a lot of things just from being on AT Divine and in the music community of Kansas City.
Very cool. Yeah, I always, I can't believe more people in Kansas City haven't flocked to Vine, and it's been historically one of those deals that has struggled despite all of what it means and how powerful it really is. Every slam I've ever been to, or little even just corner event, I remember so well. Like, it's printed
Right.
on me. And yeah, so if people haven't been in 18th and Vine area, go check out the gym or the American Jazz Museum, right?
Yeah.
That's where it's happening. Is Blue Note still around, or is it closed?
The Blue Room?
The Blue Note. Yeah, Blue Note. Blue Note's that's in Columbia, Missouri.
The Blue Room, I think it's just open for virtual at the moment. I think it may be open sometime this year. I know we rehearse in there. Oh, I bit my tongue. We rehearse it there sometimes for the gym theater shows.
Oh yeah, that is the coolest space. I'd love with the grand piano just sitting in there, just ready to.
Yes, it's a vibe room.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so you went to school. Do you mind telling us where? Where did you go off to, or did you stay in town, or what happened?
I went to UCM in Warrensburg. I stayed close. I didn't want to go too far, but by the time I actually went to college, I regretted not going far because I mean it was so close to home, and if I wanted to do music, why didn't I study that? But even without me not being able to go far to study school, I still was able to accomplish what I wanted to musically, or I'm accomplishing now what I want to do musically.
Sure. It all leads to something, right?
It does.
You use what you do. That's wonderful. And so now really your experience is predominantly music, and I mean, you're gigging enough to, that's your deal, right?
Yeah. I sing, I actually have gigs, I songwrite. A lot of my work actually is in songwriting and studio work. So it's like what people don't see is what I do the most of.
Okay. That's fantastic. And then I was wondering, because I look forward to these interviews and remember people a lot. And then I wonder what it must feel like to have, let's pretend you were performing at Paseo yesterday or something. And then it's like today again, now. What does it feel like to go from there to where you are now, and then have people who know you see you get there?
It's a crazy feeling, because when I was in Brazil, I was extremely shy. I was extremely quiet. I was heavily involved. I was in orchestra, and I didn't do vocal music until my senior year because I was so shy to sing. I learned how to play the violin to get in Brazil High. So I taught myself how to play the violin to avoid singing, but I was in musicals. I was in the jazz orchestra. I joined the Thelonious Monk Jazz vocal group that we had. But I still was, really quiet. I stayed to myself. So to go from that to who I am now, I feel like my peers from high school, they're like, are you the same person? Like, oh, this is the real Janae. Because I'm just this flamboyant extrovert person on the stage. I'm still shy a little bit.
Yeah, you've found a way to
express myself,
benefit from what you love, and I think that's the coolest thing. That's what I've been interviewing folks, and really they're excited to show that to someone else. And I've continued on that. Like, I jumped into teaching 21 years ago, and this is what fills me up too. So it's awesome to see other people celebrate that same path of that. It feels good, and it feels good to check in with somebody. So I am immensely proud to see where you're going and where you want to go. Speaking of that, where do you want to go with this? Do you have any near goals in the mind, or have you set some really strong ones that are in place? Or All right, let's hear one.
Okay, so pretty much I'm kind of on the path now, but of course I want to be on a higher spectrum of it. Oh shoot, did I lose you there? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you feel? Okay,
Now we're back. It's earthquake momentarily, everybody. We're all good in Kansas City. Okay.
But what I want to do in the future, or at the end goal of what I want to do, I just really want to push somebody else. I think I still have that shy spirit in me, but I push people harder than I push myself. Like I could be a really, really great manager to somebody because I have the knowledge of the business. I have the experience. I want to be somebody's writer or vocal producer or background vocalist. That's really what I want to do. Right now, I explained how majority of what I do right now in music is write and do production work pretty much in the background. So that's really what I want to do. I love doing it and having the experience of touring. Oh my goodness, I loved it. It was so much fun. Always being on the go. The pressure of learning 40 songs in 2 days with arrangements, it was crazy. Wow. It's a challenge, but it pushed me. It pushed me to my limits I didn't think I was capable of. So just learning, being a student of music every day, it's something magnificent. So that's what I want to do at the end. I don't want to be the person up front, the Beyonce. I want to be who's somebody in the background. I want to be the baby face in the writing room, or in the studio.
Okay. Very cool. Or Dre, right? Like on a different level.
Come on, yes.
That's who I always kind of gave a sense of, like a mental master of this process, this creation. Like somebody could bring somebody in, help them find their craft. Like, I bow down to those people. Those are teachers, right? Those are educators. That's what's going on in this whole situation. So, hey, since it's a historic day in the world, but in Kansas City especially, and new things happen today. We have a new leader in our government today, and we have recently heard, I was excited as heck to have been a teacher who knew what spoken word was so long ago, right? And to be part of watching today and watching on Facebook and hearing what some very uneducated people are saying, but also hearing what some people are how well this is resonating with young people, older people. So what'd you think of Amanda Gorman today?
I thought she was a true inspiration. She's very young. So to be where you are,
22,
to have that maturity, to have that gift at such a young age and hone it. She probably hasn't reached her peak yet, but to hone it and to stand up there, I couldn't sing up there. I could not sing a word up there. I'd be shaking. She was calm. She gave us her words, and her words meant something. I love seeing young people. I'm saying young people like I'm not young, but I love seeing the youth, actually stand for something. Because, we see a lot of bad things happen in the community. So to see something amazing like that happen, that gives nothing but hope, for the future.
Yeah. It's a path to follow again, right?
Yeah.
I was texting a creative writing teacher who's my old position at Paseo today, and we were talking a little bit about what a writing prompt. Just say, pretend you're up there, right? Put me back in the class. I want to hear what everybody would do given what they just saw, and pretend you're up there. Go write that piece. So if you're listening, I guess that's the whole prompt in Kansas City today is pretend you're up there. Shoot it to me, Chris Odom, kansascitypublicschools.org. I'll read it. I'll invite you to come talk to me about it or something. So, Janae, this has been fantastic. I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to watching your album drop from far away, I guess, and want to keep in touch. One last thing you want to tell young people out there, kind of something to go away on, and then we'll call for this wonderful Friday morning.
Yes, of course. Well, I would love to tell the young people, never stop chasing your dream. No matter what happens, anything is possible. You just have to have persistent spirit. You just got to keep going. Don't let anything stop you. No matter what, you got to fight it and you got to make it happen. That's it.
Thank you, Janae. Okay, Kansas City, you've had another treat here. And I'm telling you, somebody out there watching this concept, just steal it and do it in your own school district. But I will tell you that one thing occurred to me, situation. So we don't hear from people after they come from our system and go out into the world and do well, because other people, unfortunately, are the stories we hear about who do not. And so thank you again. And if you're out there right now and you want to come on and do this story, please, that's how I'm gaining some momentum. And Janae, I'll be sure to ask you to recommend me somebody here in a minute when we're done. But again, this has been a wonderful Real World Learning Friday on the Kansas City Public Schools TV, on our YouTube channel, and certainly on thank you to 38 The Spot for featuring us. I'm Chris Odom. We're going to sign off here. Thanks, everybody in Kansas City. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Odom, and thank you to all the other instructors today. They all will be back next Friday with our next episode of Real World Learning. KCPS Homeroom will be back on Monday at 8 a.m. right here on 38 The Spot with class for our pre-K and kindergarten students. Thank you all for joining us this week. Have a great day, and remember, continue learning throughout the day.
I chose manual because it's challenging and fun, and it can help me with college.
I chose manual because I wanted to get a jump start in my career with culinary arts.
I chose manual to acquire skills I'd use in real life.
I chose manual because I want to be an ER doctor, and being an EMT is my first step.
Kickstart your future today at Manual Career and Technical Center. Manual is open for all 11th and 12th grade students in both Kansas and Missouri. Learn more today at enrollkc.org/manual or call 816-418-5200.
The desire to create lives within each of us. From Grammy-winning producers and musicians, to NBA stars, to Navy admirals and Medal of Honor recipients, to internationally renowned artists, and beloved local muralists, Paseo graduates have been creating their own success, their own history, their own legacy since 1926. Now it's your time. Create your future at Paseo Academy of Fine and Performing Arts. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Paseo.
I am Lincoln Middle.
At Lincoln Middle School, students discover their talents and passions, where teachers plant the seeds of lifelong learning.
I am Lincoln Middle.
Where excellence is nurtured. Students develop the skills to be successful in school, career, and beyond.
Je suis Lincoln Middle.
Lincoln Middle is the public school where your child will thrive and grow. Open a world of possibilities. Apply today. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Lincoln Middle.
Hello, we're happy to have you visit Carver. We are a dual language school where our students become truly bilingual and biliterate.
Welcome to Carver Dual Language.
Hola, bienvenido al primer grado en Carver. Welcome to first grade in Carver. In kindergarten and first grade, all students learn to read and write in Spanish.
Welcome to 4th grade at Carver. In 4th grade, our students have the opportunity to join our robotics team. Our students work together on a community project and learn to code a robot's movements.
By 6th grade, Carver students are truly bilingual and biliterate. Students can fluently speak, read, and write in both Spanish and English. Carver students move on to much success in middle school, high school, and beyond.
We celebrate Hispanic heritage throughout the year at Carver Dual Language. Each year, students develop a plan to make goods to develop and to sell at our Mercado. This is our annual fall market that classes have booths that students come together and sell their items that they've created. Staff, community members, family, parents, grandparents, all can come together, buy the goods, and celebrate Hispanic heritage together.
In Carver, we have an involved PTA where parents and families can be part of our school community.
Thank you for joining us on this tour. If you would like to schedule a personal tour or learn more about our school, please call 816-418-4925.